ready to defend, they are the most dangerous scoring opportunities.
Something that Hawthorn have done really well is to continue from when it's on one side of the ground, go to the open. It's almost like Morrison took the space in the middle when they still had numbers on the outside. They were to execute the turnover, Richmond, and that's their first genuine look at going inside forward 50, streaming in with numbers and options to be able to use. So we haven't seen much of it. And even that's a glimpse of it.
Even then, it looked like it might not have come off either. A banana goal from the front.
Hopper, Dow, they're building a little bit of confidence here. Taranto, McIntosh, Ross, kick forward to Fall. Johnny Fall, fourth game of AFL.
And he's predominantly played on James Sicily, who's led him to the ball for the most part of the day. And he's competed like his partner in crime, Tom Lynch. So that's just a player that plays in front, who's reading the game, who can make a really quick decision on where that ball's going to drop and get to his opponent in Tom Barras quicker than he could.
So the Tigers just looking to give themselves some hope and some confidence going into the main break. And Jonty's put it through. 2 goals in 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
You go 58 minutes and 23 inside 50s for 4 points. And then you go bang, bang. So that is the game. And it's great persistence by Richmond, for them to be able to persist. Their energy's been great. They haven't dropped their bundle. They've stayed with it long enough, forced the turnover through the middle to get the first goal to Campbell, and then you come out of centre bounce with a bit of an overlap chain handball and find a forward and finish.
And it breeds confidence within what you're trying to do in your system, because it's been a bit tough for them today. Hawthorn, they've bought pressure. I mean, they're the number one pressure side, if not the second best in the competition, and they have bought that for this half, but to be able to work their way through it, they'll take a huge amount of confidence out of that moving forward.
Johnny Ball played a bit of his junior footy with Sam Lawler as well. Big 2 minutes coming up here to half-time now. Impey on the run. Thumps it long. Brown's under it. Stood his ground.
Great body work by Nathan Broad.
Heads out wide to Lynch. And player inspired right now, the Tigers.
And probably voice as well from Broadbent. The body work's one thing, but then to be able to call your teammate back into it.
So will they keep attacking here, the Tigers? Try and steal another one late. Lynch kicks it to where he'd love to be. Fall is down there, couldn't get the run at it. Hits the deck. Barras, clever. D'Ambrosio hacks it away in hope. Who's going to go for it? Ginnivan, the only one who attempted the mark in the end. Gunston, given an eternity, got away with it. Hopper, Trainer, Green, Leach. 1 minute left. He takes off. He was caught from behind, along the deck. Weddle with the composure. All the way back to Barras. Hunted down, floats it. Impey.
Outside 5.
So, fascinating last 45 seconds. Impey, Ward, Newcomb, Weddle. Newcomb will keep running. He'll run all day. Long ball towards the top of the square. Watson's there off hands. Gunston! Champion settles the ship.
It's a beautiful piece of body work. Before the ball got in his area, Jack Gunston, he got rid of Ben Miller and then was up. The ball fortuitously came over the back, but it was a nice piece of work just to be able to give him the space to be able to be free at the back, read it off hands, and then finish with a nice goal.
Interesting to see what you see here, Hawk. Is it Miller not being strong enough in the contest, or he probably just lost his balance there, got caught up with his legs a little, didn't he? But what people don't realise, well, often the contest to win that position first and then the body position before the ball even arrives is so crucial as a forward. And Gunston, as an undersized key, does it pretty well to be able to give himself opportunities.
Goal 4.99 for Gunston. Meek traps it, hands it, Ward, still chance here, Morrison to Ward, 60 out, he pokes it for the Wizard. He gave one away earlier in the quarter that he could have kicked. He's a live wire. He's becoming a cult hero very, very quickly, the Wizard.
These guys will hardly come by for a little while, and now we're looking at our 4th and 4 minutes. Talking about enjoying the stage.
Yes, he'll enjoy kicking this. Only 170 centimetres tall with his socks on. Tiny, but explosive. Love players like the Wizard. Enthusiastic, big smile on his face. The crowd love him. May have flocked to the MCG today, the Hawthorn faithful, to celebrate their 100-year anniversary. And they have a handy break at half-time. 50 by 16 on Fox Footy. Sunday ticket living up to the expectation. Still some nouns and verbs flying. James Sicily, second year as captain in the middle of it, as you'd expect. They slowly sort themselves out. Do not go anywhere. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the planet on Fox Footy.
All right, there we go. MCG time. It's half time here at the footy. The Hawks 7-8-50 lead the Tigers 2-4-16. Well, the Hawks aren't getting away like we thought. Putting on 5 goals, 3 in that term, though. It was a good effort. 2 goals, 1 to the Tigers. The Tigers, young players, they can certainly lift when they need to. So it's going to be a great battle in the second half. Let's just have a little bit of a look because I didn't quite get to the ins and outs for these teams. The ins for Hawthorn was Giath, McGuinness and Luke Bruce. Going out was Carl Lamont, Jack Scrimshaw and Cam McKenzie. Bailey McDonald is the sub, and of course Josh Weddle, his milestone game of 50 games today. Well done to him. Of course for the Tigers, Noah Bolter coming in, outgoing Campbell Gray. James Trezise is the sub. Jacob Hopper, his milestone game of 150. Well done to him. That is your lineup for the game here. I didn't get around to doing that. So there we go. All right, let's go and have a look at the stats, some of the stats so far. All single goal scorers out on the ground. No dominating player out there. Yo, Eddie G, what's going on, Sky? What's going on? You just got back. Thought we'd kick off the footy. Hoping the Tigers show some fight and come back here. I like these young Tigers. Win or lose, it doesn't really matter because I think their future looks bright. The way they're going about their work. Nick Watson, the Wizards, got one. James Sicily, McGuinness, Gunston, Ginnivan, Chol and Bruce, all for the Hawks, all singles for the Tigers. Jonty Fowle and Seth Campbell. That's it. Just the 2 goals for the Tigers there. All right. The other game was good today. I see the Sydney Swans. Sydney Swans got up over the GWS Giants in the earlier game there today. 87 Sydney, 673 the Giants. 14-point winners to Sydney over there, but here, leading disposal getter on the ground. There we go. It's a Tiger of old. Jacob Hopper leads the way on 16 disposals, 7 kicks, 9 handballs, a mark, 2 tackles, 3 clearances. It's doing all right. Jai Newcomb next best with D'Ambrosio and Josh Battle all there for the Hawks on 14. Sicily, he's having a good game there, isn't he? As he always does, 13 touches, 11 kicks. He's snagged 1 sausage roll right through the sticks. Good to see him kicking some goals instead of protecting them all the time. There we go. Giath, he's up to 13. Tim Taranto for the Tigers and Tom Brown also on 10 possessions for both of theirs. A milestone player, James, no, that was Weddle. I'm thinking James Warble. He's on 8. There we go. Nick Vlosten on 8 for the Tigers also. There we go. Noah Bolter on 8 for the Tigers, just a 7 kicks. There we go. Mal Chol for the Hawks. Thought he might have a big game here. Thought his height might get over the Tigers. 7 touches, 6 kicks. He's had a clearance. He's kicked a goal also. Toby Nankervis, the big man for the Tigers, just the 5 touches, 1 kick, 4 handballs, 15 hit-outs and a couple of clearances. Of course, his opposing ruckman, Lloyd Meek, 5 touches, 1 and 4, pretty much the same. 3 tackles though, 14 hitouts, 2 clearances, so they are pretty much on par. All right, we'll come back and have a look at the, or will we do the team stats now? I'm just having a look. Commentators aren't quite back with us just yet. They won't be too far away. Hey, Teddy, how you doing? How you doing? Sounds good game tonight. Should be good. Should be an absolute ripping game, that one tonight. Brisbane and Gold Coast. Certainly going for the Gold Coast Suns in that game there at EG. I don't know whether they're good enough to get over Brisbane at the Gabba, but it should be a fascinating game for sure and certain. I'll just check and see whether the commentators are back. All right, yeah, let's actually head back down to the commentators for a little bit and then we'll get back to the team stats.
1983, 86, 88, 89 and 91 Premiership Cups. Please welcome to the MCG, Ian Dicker, Chris Langford, Nick Holland, Daniel Harford, Ben Dixon, Richie Erdenberg, Jeff Hennett, Trent Crowe and Chance Bateman. Also, the 2008 Premiership Cup. Please welcome to the MCG, Brian Lake, Jared Roughhead, Josh Gibson, Ben McAvoy, Jordan Lewis, Bradley Hill, Alistair Clarkson, Luke Hodge, and our 2013, 14 and 15 Premiership Cups. Please welcome to the MCG, Emily Bates, Eliza West, Tilly Lucas Rod, Jenna Richardson, Tam Smith, Jazz Fleming. Also, please welcome our current AFL players, Connor Nash, Mitch Lewis, Carl Amon, Jack Scrimshaw, and Will Day, and President Andy Gowers. And to you, our loyal, proud and passionate brown and gold supporters, you are what makes Hawthorn truly unique and special. One for all and all for one. Go the mighty Fighting Hawks. That's what I'm talking about!
Premiership star Shane Crawford with the introductions of men who need no introductions. Their faces tell the stories of 13 premierships. What an amazing history, and sent shivers down our spines pre-game as we celebrate 100 years in the VFL AFL of the great Hawthorn Football Club. At half-time, they lead by 34 points, 7-8-50 to 2-4-16. Nathan Buckley and Tom Hawkins with me. What have you made of it, guys?
Well, it's been, we had that scoring burst in the last 5 minutes of that quarter, but it's been difficult for both sides to be able to find time and space. Hawthorn have done a little bit better, but this is where the game sparked up a little bit, didn't it? It was a bit more niggle there, and Tim Taranto coming in to defend a young player. And I reckon Sicily seems to be a bit of a target from the Richmond boys. Maybe they think that that hot-headed nature that he displayed when he was a young player is just under the surface there a little bit, and there's some form of advantage to be got, but that's an old school melee, and there, as you rightfully said, Hawk, there's a few dollars to be forked out there.
There will be. There was a few tired boys as well, and the other thing I thought Hawthorn lifted their intensity in and around the ball. Now they're a very good pressure side. Their pressure rating went up to 188, whereas Richmond's was 156. They scored 31 points from turnover in that first half, so you can clearly see them tighten the screws. I thought they used the ball a lot better and more efficiently going forward than what Richmond did.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of end-to-end play that we might normally see from Hawthorn, so that's credit to Richmond, but this particular movement late in the first quarter was probably more of what we expect to see from Hawthorn. Slight changes of angles, driving the legs, Weddle here getting that extra 10 or 15 metres to be able to get it over the back of a defence that was set up for a long kick, and Chol was able to take the mark for an easy goal to McGuinness. And the fact that we haven't seen that often, I think, is all credit to Richmond. Their energy's been great. They've had 18 front half turnovers and they just haven't been able to get bang for buck. They've only kicked 3 goals from that. Hawthorn with the 10 there. Hawthorn have gone back and kicked 4 goals from their 10 front half intercepts. So the effectiveness inside forward 50 with the last kick or the last decision or the finish itself has favoured Hawthorn, and that's why there is a gap in the game at the moment.
Might be quite a bit of news coming out of this game. Has been quite a bit of news across the round altogether as we head to the Fox Sports newsroom. David Zeta, welcome to you, David.
Hello, Dwayne. Well, there's some spot fires in this game, but there was certainly some spot fires earlier today. Sydney and GWS clashing once more, and it was on from the get-go. Ultimately, the Swans had the last laugh. They got the win by 14 points over the Giants. They've bounced back from 3 straight losses. The Giants now, they're just clinging to 8th spot on the ladder. 3 straight losses for them. They take on Geelong at GMHBA Stadium next week. The Swans take on Essendon at Marvel Stadium, but plenty of spot fires in this match, and a lot of spite between the two sides. Now, one person who may be in some strife for next week is Lewis Melican. Now, I expect that he's going to be offered at least a 2-match ban. It could even be 3, depending on how impact is graded here. For this hit on Toby Bedford, Bedford was subbed out after this with an eye injury. Adam Kingsley just spoke, and he says that Bedford has blurred vision, can't see out of that right eye, and it has puffed up significantly. So Melican here could expect at least a 2-match ban, potentially 3 or more, depending on how impact is graded here. And just for the Hawks, Cal Shadir not out there today. He is working his way back from injury. He had another successful run in the VFL today, kicked a goal, 3 behinds from 7 touches, and about 80% of game time. And Sam Mitchell a few weeks ago watched Cal Shadir play, came off the track and goes, "Oh, I forgot how good this kid was." So they are very excited to get him back into the side. Jack Scrimshaw and Carl Amon missing this week due to concussion. Amon is on track to return next week against Melbourne at the MCG, but Scrimshaw, given he had a concussion 6 weeks prior, I expect the Hawks are going to let him have another week off next week just to make sure he's absolutely cherry ripe when he comes back. So Scrimshaw unlikely for next week against the D's. Amon to return, but plenty to play for in the second half here on a big day for the Hawks.
Thanks, David. Great atmosphere here at the MCG. The Oz Kickers having a run around at the moment on this beautiful turf here, and let's go down to ground level. Our man Nick Dalsado has a special guest.
Well, Harry, great to be joined by you today. You're a mad Hawk supporter. It's a significant day for the club, 100 years. What have you made of the first half, though?
We absolutely dominated so far. There's been a bit of biff. See that biff?
Yeah, I saw the biff,
I absolutely
yes.
love to see. There was a bit of heated energy. We love to see it. The Hawks are playing great, which is good to see.
If you're an AFL player right now, a Hawks player, or even let's go back a little bit, who would you be? What style of player were you?
Hawks, I would love to say someone like a Luke Hodge, but I think Luke Hodge was a little bit more fearless than I am.
Yeah,
but my favourite player growing up was by far Shane Crawford.
Nice.
Exceptional man.
That's what I'm talking about. Very nice. Hey, you've got a huge fight coming up on the 14th of May, a couple of weeks away. You haven't fought professionally for 3 years. What's the motivation to come back?
I just think I really thought about a regret on my deathbed. I think if I wasn't to get back in the ring, I'm 27. This is arguably my athletic prime. So I think I really need to get back in there now. And I want to try and win a world title over the next 3-4 years and then try and get out with as much brain capacity as possible and then hopefully have a family by the time I'm 35.
You've had you got it all organised. 35 enough. I like it. Very structured. You've taken some time off. You've done a couple of reality shows. I mean, successful. Did you need that to get ready for this next journey of your life, a part of your life?
I think it's good to just separate yourself from being an athlete. You know, I think my whole life I was just Harry the boxer. So it's nice to know that I'm more than what I do. Boxing is just what I love to do, you know? So I think it's nice to sort of separate myself from just being a boxer and realise that there's many avenues out there, but boxing's what I love to do. I love to fight. I love to be in there. And while I'm young, this is the time to do it.
Let's go really blunt here. You've got Bell on Wednesday, 14th of May. How many rounds do you finish it in?
Oh, he's going to be a tough opponent. He's a Queenslander and he's got a good record, 5-1. So I'm not going to call it around because I think he's going to be a good, hard opponent. So I'm excited to get back in there. Horton Pavilion, 14th of May. It's time to go.
Let's go. Subscribe. We're ready to roll just like the Hawks are today. Enjoy the second half.
Up the Hawkers.
Couple of superstars downstairs. Nick Dalsado. You can catch that fight. Harry Garside back in the ring against Charlie Bell. You can catch it live and exclusive on Main Event, May 14. Second half not far away from getting underway here, but good to have Harry Garside back in the ring.
Goodman on the road to greatness.
All right, folks, well, they're just on a quick break. We're only 5 minutes away from the bounce of the ball to the second half in the third term. Hey, Noah, how you going? No, up the Tigers. I tell you what, I hope the Tigers come back a little bit. I tell you what, there's, from what I was seeing there, there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of biff going on. No love lost between these two teams out there. That is for sure. Let's head back and just have a look at the team stats there. 41 disposals plus are the Hawks so far, which is not too bad for the Tigers. Tigers going just under season average. Hawks going above. The kicks, it's about 35 there, plus 2 the Hawks. Handballs, it's only plus 6. Inside 50s. Good news, though, for Hawthorn, though. And Richmond, I should say. Both teams on 25 inside 50, so both teams getting plenty of chances in there. So Richmond able to transition that ball, work their way down their forward 50. They just need to hit up a few leading targets and try and kick accurately to get on the scoreboard. As I said, Hawthorn's not getting away. The scoreboard might say they're getting away a little bit, but Richmond certainly having the same amount of chance as Hawthorn, 25 inside 50s apiece. Of course, 15 scoring shots for the Hawks inside 25 times, which is pretty good. And the Tigers, only the 6 scoring shots, so they'll need to lift their game up a little bit there. They're 25 inside 50s there. 80%, 75% for disposal efficiency. That's pretty good for both teams. Quite impressed with that. Efficiency inside 50. Pretty good for the Hawks, a little low for the Tigers. They'll want to pick that up. The free kick count, though, wowee, 14-5. Talk about one-sided free kick count there to the Hawks. As you can see, the Hawks season average is 23 free kicks to them. That's probably the highest I've seen any team. I'm not sure. I'll have to keep an eye on that one, folks. 23 for an average free kicks. Maybe because Hawthorn ducks their head like Ginnivan and the Wizard. They just love to duck their head. They duck their head. They duck their head. They should be getting free kicks against them for ducking their heads like that so often. But the Tigers, only 5. Wowee. I'm going to have to keep an eye on the umpires to see if how they're going to umpire this in the second half. The hit-outs, it's only the Hawks by 4, of course, there. The clearances, pretty good. The Tigers matching it there with the Hawks, only plus 2 in the clearances to the Hawks, only plus 1 centre clearance. So the Tigers getting their hands on the ball, which is great news. As I said, I do like the way the Tigers are playing. I think this is a young and upcoming team. I think umpires under pressure, like they certainly are. Their decisions have just been horrendous, absolutely horrendous. You know, the only probably good thing is this is at the opening half and not in the final 10 minutes of the game, which certainly cost the Maggies last night. The umpires certainly wanted Geelong to get that game last night. They were probably told in the ear, we can't let Collingwood win last night. Get Geelong the free kicks. Get Geelong the free kicks. And that's exactly what happened. Stoppage clearances, though, 10-9, only plus 1. There we go. Contested possessions, both teams going pretty well. It's just plus 18 there to the Hawks. Expected. Uncontested. Well, uncontested, that's actually more surprising. They're only plus 21, the Hawks, so Richmond doing a fantastic job there. Turnovers there, Hawks pretty good, just 30, that's reasonably low. And the Tigers not too bad, 36 for this young team. I tell you what, I reckon next year or the year after, this Richmond team will be in the top 8 and pushing upwards. That's how I think they're going to be. I think they've got a bright future, have the Tigers. Marks, well, it's just plus 17, but the marks inside 50. They've been inside 25 times each. Hawthorn had 11 marks inside, so that's great news for the Hawks. Richmond, they just need to lift this game and need to get a little, make a little bit of space. There we go. Contested marks, Hawks a little bit stronger in that area. Well, looking at the tackle count, though, both teams tackling good. And, of course, this young, determined Richmond side, they've got the tackles inside 50. They are leading 6-0. Hawthorn yet to lay a tackle inside 50, so they'll be certainly looking forward to doing that. All right, folks, we are going to take you back down to the ground now because we are only 40 seconds away to the bounce of the ball for the start of the third quarter. All I can say is, I know the Hawks will probably win this, but all I can say is go Tigers. I like this young Tiger team. I think they're an exciting team of the future. All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground, and they'll take us into the bouncer ball for the second half.
30 metres from goal to be able to find the next target that finishes, and that's it's not a massive thing to expect them to be able to improve on that, but it is a differentiator between a team who we think is going to be top four and where they are at the moment.
So it was 14 at quarter time. The Hawks now leading by 34 as we recommence and start the second half. Nankervis works to get it to Lawler, blazing through the middle, and then he couldn't quite get purchase on the hand pass. Impy to D'Ambrosio, darting ball along the wing and marked by Short.
Just that missed handball by Lawler. I mean, that's the difference between getting another scoring opportunity and having to come off your back half. He's a young player. He's extremely talented, but missed option there.
Taranto, 10 disposals in the first half. Kick to half forwards. Sicily front and centre.
It's what he does so well, doesn't he? Always takes best position off his forward and impacts the contest. So important, so vital for their football club.
Floats it wide.
Wouldn't mind getting your reflections on what it was like to play on him. Did he play on you much as an undersized defender?
Look, I mainly had Barras, key position player, but he would always be in and around trying to intercept the ball and kickstart their attack.
Going to have Tom Hawkins with us in commentary. Impy spears it to Gunston. 499 goals. Hunting down a 500th, and he hands that one to Ginnivan.
Once again, just that lower of the eyes. Now, Ginnivan's on the edge of his range here, but he'll have a shot on goal. But Gunston here looking for players and the options, knowing that he is looking for them, so they keep their eyes and their chests facing the guy with the ball. We don't see that with Richmond at the moment.
Kick two behinds early, then slotted a goal for his second. Jack's back.
Yeah, he certainly is. Jack Ginnivan, he's been brilliant today. That's his second. But I think what I've loved about his game is his attitude to be able to get up and down the ground. He's just quietly had 7 score involvements as well to go along with the 11 possessions. So playing a really important and vital part. It just seems to be central within their formation. So playing a lot inside the corridor and being a real connector. Got great smarts and great knowledge of the game to be able to read his opponent and time when to get at the footy. So he's from his little stint back in the VFL, he's come back in great form, Jack Ginnivan.
That bounce to be called back. 2-2 for Jack. That's 6 goals for the year in the 7 matches he's played.
4 in the last 2.
Meek, Newcombe dispossessed, and Curvis, Banks, Short, Hopper, Nankervis. Looping ball, finding some room to Campbell. And piercing ball to Ross. So Richmond looking for the quick reply, and boy, they need it. Perched towards the top of the square, full at the front. Barras with the big punch, but it only fell to Mansell, who said, "Thank you very much, I'll take that on a platter," and put it through for a 6-pointer.
Well, it was great patience. Exactly what you talked about at the start of the third quarter, Bucks. Their ability at about 70, 80 out to possess the ball, be clean with it, and find that lowering of the eyes to Ross, who kicks the ball into a predictable part of the ground. They get a contest and a lovely finish from Ryan Mansell. It's amazing what being predictable within what you're trying to do, how much confidence it creates amongst the small forwards.
Well, they've been going there a little bit, especially early in that first quarter, but the difference I was actually thinking about how good the Hawthorn defenders have crumbed. But John Newcomb there, he'll see this back on review. He was standing next to Mansell and he went one way when Mansell went the other. You can't afford to do that in your D50.
Barris has been marking a few of those as well, so maybe it was a surprise to a few that went the punch.
Yeah, and if he hasn't marked them, he's punched them and cleared the area.
He punched that to the worst possible spot, the most dangerous spot. D'Ambrosio hunted down by Ralph Smith. Back to Sicily. Newcomb. Wobbles that to half forward. Good attack from middle until left it behind. Meek with the dance step. Warple hit the pause button. Empty. Had to reach down low and get it. Just chips it. Well, that was Gunston's ball, but it was stolen from him. That's right.
Huswaite's had to work really hard for his chances as well. There's been quite a bit of in and out from the midfield movement. Warple missed some games. Obviously Will Day, who's going to miss quite a bit. So this young fellow who's been working really hard in his craft as a young midfielder.
Gets his chance. Played 4 games last year, but was the sub quite a bit. Sends it goalward. First miss of his career. And Leo behind.
9 touches today. Henry Huswaite. So Austin to bring it back. Deadly accurate kick to Miller. Miller's ball to the wing. 2-on-2 fall. The ground. Good strong grab. He's got some good mitts. There's Jonty. Next kick, interesting. And down to play keepings off for the time being, Bolter. He's got Vlosten up ahead. And he's going to use Kim short. So pretty stagnant here at the moment, Bucks.
Yeah, Hawthorn have got them all cordoned off. They're owning the corridor. Richmond are long or wide. There's nothing through the corridor.
So kicks to a crowd. Lynch, little push out. Battle. Won it in the end. So Jath, a little bit of a skip and then tried to use the captain. Coming through forward at a rate of knots.
Yeah, they were very deep then, Richmond, as a forward line, which can be as a result of having the numbers back that Hawthorn have had and the influence that they've had on them.
There's the great dipper. So proud with the Premiership Cup earlier on. Great to see the legends here today. Footy lovers would have really appreciated seeing some of those great faces. John Platten, Michael Tuck.
I know, I certainly have, and you can't help but think that there's some Hawthorn legends in 10 or 15 years' time amongst this playing group too. Whether it's Sicily, Watson, or Gunston.
They've won premierships in every decade from the 60s. It's been an amazing club. They regenerate so quickly, and they've done it again under Sam Mitchell. His 4th season as coach, 13th, 16th, and then 6th last year, and they're a contender again under one of their all-time greats, Sam Mitchell.
It's just a slight change structurally from a Richmond forward line perspective. We saw particularly in that first half, they were happy to bring numbers up to the stoppage. They're going to try and hold their forwards and force the Hawks defenders to play on someone without a spare.
I'd like to have seen Mick Malloy play a few games. Would have been a good footballer on his time, I reckon.
On the ball, Hawthorn.
Holding the ball in the decision.
Straight to him. Thanks. Say, wow.
Impey. A little bit of a hold ahead. Child feeding back to it. Can he get a run at it? Bowler in front. Off hands. Gunston doesn't get the kick that he was after. It's sat on its end. Ralph Smith blasts it away, but it should be coming back. Battle stands under it. Brilliant commitment. Steely Green back with the flight. But all Sharon. Barris got it from Harvey to Jaff. Just dangerous. Sicily, fall. Impey, it's a 2-on-2. Jarman Impey, part of the seas. Heads out wide. McGuinness can get and go. His father a star with this club as well. His grandfather also played with the Hawks. He gets it back. Meek gave it to him and then inside to Moore. Puts it to grass. Normally better than that. And McIntosh wraps him up.
Since Hawthorn did everything they could to try and turn it over through that bit of play, but Richmond just not quite able to stick tackles or to win the ground ball. But it was a little clunky from the Hawks, but they're in scoring range again.
And Curvis goes himself. I'll repeat.
Very low clearance game in that first half. There weren't a lot of stoppages, a lot of transition play.
Hopper. Pinched by Housewaite. McGuinness has a little bit of time to think about it, then wobbles it in the Chol direction. Watson picks it up. He's grabbed, and over the line it goes.
Just watching Chol go about his business. His body work's pretty good, isn't it? He looks damaging every time the ball comes in his area. Probably not asked to get up and down the ground the way he was when he played for Richmond or Gold Coast. So it's probably a role that suits him a little better to play deeper as a target.
Nick Curvis, and then Watson. Was he taken high? Yes. Mouth-watering, isn't it? Kicking to the height of Chol, and you've got the Wizard who's always lurking.
We're talking about the ability to stick the tackle, and Watson was going to always draw those, as do small forwards across the competition. But we've seen a few swinging arms at footballs that are around head height, not quite as damaging as some that we've seen in recent weeks.
It's a little bit right to left, the breeze here. Zephyr of breeze. That's kept it low, straight and true. The second goal for Nick Watson today.
And celebrated accordingly. Was that a point up to our commentary box just then? By the Wizard? Was he pointing at us?
Pointing at you.
I don't know, but it was. You're right. You mentioned it earlier on, Bucks, about the high tackling, particularly on Watson. Jaden Shaw to be really disappointed because he executed about 20 seconds before that the perfect tackle on the Wizard Watson. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, the outstretched arm of Nate Curvis as the game goes on, players get more fatigued and make mistakes. But disappointing to be able to.
I do have a slightly different view on it. If you're a small player, a ground player that can get to the contest and you win the ball, well, then you deserve to own the game from that point on. And you might draw a free kick, but it's all credit to you to going and winning the ball first and foremost.
And it was hard for Dan Curvis to get low on the smallest player on the ground to tackle him legally. Jaff hammers it. We've got a fist on it. McDonald, good wrap-around tackle. Cautious tackle from the trainer. About to be flung in the air again. Big pack around it.
Nick Malloy there, Dwayne. What position would he play, do you think?
Well, it depends if you're talking 70s or 80s. Or the 2000s. I was thinking he was more made for the 70s and 80s myself.
He wouldn't be in the midfield, I wouldn't have thought.
No. Banks. Chip kick to half forward. What can they make of this time? Some ways they haven't been in it, Richmond, and yet they're not out of it at all. Chip kick is good to Mansell. He's changed his boots at half-time as well. Heads to Lynch. Mansell played the first half in the orange boots. Has flicked to the whites for the last half, and now Lynch in the pocket. This isn't his repertoire. It'll take his best. Bends it. It's across the face and it hasn't scored.
Tim McGuinness. Kick. Watson coming in from the side, tried to use his body. Roston, a standing start straight back from where it came. McGuinness, Morrison, Barris. Or kick had to be good. Ian Ward at the mark. It's an aggressive kick. Now, Battle and Sicily break up a couple of possessions. And then Battle, so plenty of possessions, but no ground made this time. Forward kick to Ward. That's a good kick as well. McDonald's opening up the field towards Bruce. Spins around Broad. Tried to get it to D'Ambrosio. Ricochets back to Bruce, and then Newcomb blazes away. Chol on the last line to the left.
And they are leaving Richmond in it. James Precise to start for the Tigers. Lost it. He launches it in the Lawler-Ginnivan direction. Lawler, brilliant. Got a huge upside. Rising Star nomination for the opening round win. Turns it over. McGuinness, the wizard. He's got Gunston lurking. Oh, he took them all on. He wants the 1-2. He got a push in the back. Umpire said no. The Mosquito fleet has done it again today. They are the only multiple goal kickers in the game. Ginnivan's got 2. Watson's got 2. Inside kick, aggressive kick is good to Mansell, and the Tigers might be out.
They go sideways initially. Banks.
Mick Watson is still 15 metres from where he thought he was pushed in the back, and he hasn't worked. He's been complaining with the umpire since. He just needs to keep playing the game.
Trainer gives some ground to Vlosten. Thought about the corridor for a moment, then just scampering from the bench. How's that for a spot? So short, straight off the bench, gets the ball, is on the ground for all but 3 seconds and finds green.
I'm not sure he was even on the ground when he called for it. He hadn't crossed the boundary yet.
It was fantastic vision through the middle of the ground. You are spot on once again, Dwayno. He was coming onto the ground as the ball was kicked to him, and everyone on the bench went, go get it, go get it.
But how clever, Nick, then to find green further afield. So Steely Green from just inside 50. This would be a team lifter. It's a good kick. Good kick, young man. Keeps the Tigers in it.
It's been a bit of a turnaround. The Richmond haven't enjoyed as many inside 50s as they did early in the game. They had over 20 before they kicked their first goal, and they've kicked 3 goals in their last 9 entries. So whilst they're not controlling field position or getting as many opportunities, they have been able to hit the scoreboard and finish. A couple at the end of the second quarter, and now this one from Steely Green and obviously Mansell early in the quarter. So it's been a lot more efficient going inside their forward 50, not getting as much supply. Hawthorn owning the midfield a little bit more, but taking their chances when they get them.
I can't help but think that that's a bit to do with their ball movement, the way they're kicking and marking and changing angles, and overall just being more efficient with the footy when it's in their possession.
Tigers out to spoil the party. Nat Curvis, he took it out of the air. Did this against the Blues round 1. Carlton looked like they had him on the ropes. They flew home to win that. Ross, Slick, Dow with some poise. Got under that a little. Wide ball. Campbell's going to have to go. Did go. Harwood went 2. Going to empty. Hunter down. They've lifted all right, the Tigers. Frainer over it.
And Dwayno, they've also just made their sub, but it's Rioli that's going to come from the ground, and Precise has been subbed on for his 16th game of AFL football.
So tactical sub there. Dan Curvis. Dow just kept it in. Ross was happy to walk it over. There is Rioli, who's been subbed off tactically.
Had 2 goals and 7 tackles in the win against Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago. He's been one of those small forwards that is looking to put pressure on, but be a bit better playing with 6 forwards in front of the ball as a small forward in the second half than it would have in the first half.
Pushed away by Lawler. McGuinness, Weddle, Battle. Moore, Impey. On the run. Runs hard. Went a fair way. Was allowed though. Coming through Banks. Snapples the football. Ross by hand. Short. Wider to Ralph Smith. There's a whistle though, and it's going to the Hawks.
Maybe after the handball went, there might have been a little bit of an errant.
This was the right hand to the face of Newcomb in the end. So
you can't say it wasn't there.
Newcomb, who was prolific against West Coast with 37 touches.
You wouldn't want to play it on a grand final day, I wouldn't have thought.
17th touch goes out to battle.
Hardwick his target. McGuinness. Hardwick. Battle. Every player on the ground. Barbaras behind him is ahead of him. He goes with a shortish kick and taken in defence by Trainer. What's he want to do here? Looks around, see if I want to take off quickly. Hopper. So it looks like the Tigers are also playing a bit more cautiously. As we tick into time on in this third. Gloston opens it up. Bolton. He's got the outlet, kick to short. He can get it and go. Open space ahead, he waits. And then he waits it nicely to Broad.
Broad. Hasn't had a lot of it. This is his fourth touch. Short.
Just haven't seen the strategy employed by the Tigers to this point. Today they've been prepared to move the ball a bit quicker.
Long kick. Brown at the back, Green at the front. Took the football, taken by Ward. And a ball up.
It's only a small thing, but when you actually play your forwards deeper and then the opposition go forward, they have to do a whole lot more work to get back to compete, which means they probably gas out a little bit more than they would otherwise. Have you do all the work back and then to only come forward.
Morrison flicks it out to Jaff, hoping for options, goes wide, going to set it up for Hardwick. So Hardwick on the outer wing. Of course, Richmond ran out pretty strongly against Melbourne. That was 10 days ago, so fresher legs. Weddle, Ginnivan, plenty of time. Just a waltz around and then kick towards half forward, punched away by McIntosh, comes back to Weddle. Weddle at his 50th. Look at this, an embarrassment of riches, and Gunston has the football in the pocket. So Gunston, this is a big kick. He's sitting on 499 goals at the moment. One of the Hawks' favourite sons. Gunston comes around for 500. That's what the Hawks are talking about. A big moment in this centenary clash. We dip our little star. Standing ovation from the Hawks fans. And that's what 50,000 sound like as they stand as one.
It takes a bit of time to get those sort of numbers up, Tom.
Yeah, it does, and they're lovely. They're lovely milestones, and particularly how fitting that it happens today, of all days, where the club celebrates a huge milestone and someone that's played a lot of football for them and looks like, as he glimpses up to the sky, you can't help but think about his father, who he lost tragically a couple of years ago. But it has been an amazing story, Jack Gunston.
35 years young later this year as well. Still going strong. Holding. Durando free. Goes long. Arrow stumps it down. Jaff. Through the two of them beautifully. Battle. Newcomb. Impey. Heads out wide to Chol. A little clip to the ear from Bolton. Umpire said it was okay. Moore. Couple to hand it off to. Got one high as well. Umpire said nothing I need to do about that. Chol took on short, took him out. All in.
Hawthorn look a lot more dangerous on the rebound now. I don't know if it might have something to do with the fact that there's two Richmond forwards that might actually be the wrong side of the ball that were through the midfield in the first half. So there might have been something tactical as we look at Hudson Parkin, Kennett, Eade, some fantastic Hawthorn names, Hawthorn people celebrating today.
How good are those names in one sentence? As the umpire crosses himself for another go.
Apologies to the fifth face that have been recognised.
So, Hank the Tank gets a free kick. Heads in the Vloston direction. Gang tackle though, came out to Hopper. Hopper with a little skip around to Vloston. Vloston with some space, got it to Taranto by hand. Then a high one in the full direction. Threw everything at it in his right hand but couldn't quite grab it. Hardwick, then Jack. Jack wants to go for a run. Out wide he goes to D'Ambrosio as they exit defensive 50. Kick along the wing. Miller was the first to reach it. Ricochets off a couple of boots. And it was over the top. Impey, D'Ambrosio, Gunston up the ground. Over the top, Impey and Jaff can raffle it, but it beats them both. Coming through was Lawler. But the Hawks win it again. Hardwick, McGuinness, and they're off with D'Ambrosio.
They can smell some blood here, the Hawks. Early leap from Vloston. Couldn't put it in. Careful not to get high on Ginnivan. Bruce flicks it back to him, but he throw it. He threw it. Big 3:22 coming up to end this third. Tigers are a breaking strain. And the Hawks know it. Adam Uze obviously has instructed Richmond to slow it down. And kick it long to contest. Sicily might gobble this up. He does. Not paid. It was grabbed. The captain chips it wide. D'Ambrosio tight ropes the boundary, sends it long. Bruce inside 53 to beat. Gunston lurking, big, Mickey! It was a long way down between hand and foot.
Great vision coming first from Jack Gunston, and then the vision to see his teammate there, but just unable to finish it this time. They're starting to take control of the game. They're doing what a good side does, Hawthorn. They've taken the best shot of their opposition. And now that their system and their efficiency and their basics are taking over, their run and carry looks damaging.
So, Trainer called to play on, and then Morrison right out of the field of play. Don't say that too often. They're turning the screws here, the Hawks. Newcomb, Huswaite. Now having a bit of a dance around his opponent more. Back towards the Watson direction. That's a good grab from Trainer. And we're going to repeat what we just saw. This time he's going to switch play.
Broad again takes his time. He just wanders away. Short. Playing as if they've got a 6-goal lead to Vloston. McIntosh. Sits it on Lawler's head. Impossible for the kid there. Newcomb, Moore, Hardwick.
The system looks supreme at the moment. They're doing the basics well, getting numbers back, ground level, and then spreading the ball.
Morrison, Impey, and now McGuinness. It sets up beautifully. Try and close the quarter out with a goal. Warple missed his target. Oh, that's a... Did he play on? So just on, precise, gets away with that, hands it to Broad.
So Broad blazing up the spine. Taranto out to Brown. Less than a minute to go. Third term. Brown's kick. Jaff goes the spoil and won it. Got it to Battle. Jaff skipping around. Weddle back to Battle. Bit hop the hand pass. Battle just kept it in play with a little bit of composure, and then Weddle, who's so fast, you back him at stall. Morrison back to Weddle. Little chip. Hawks everywhere. Impey at half back. 30 seconds left on the clock. Weddle Hustwaite, Newcomb, Hawks everywhere. Warple, Jaff, wobbly one towards the pocket. Watson picks it up. What can the Wizard do? Tucks it into the yard, goes for a run, and spreads a little bit more magic dust across the MCG. Watson with 3.
As he push and shove in shoes, as the ball was bouncing to him, Nick Watson was a dead duck. He knew that Watson had moves. He didn't know if he was going to go skinny or wrap around, and he got the angle probably half a metre wrong and just gave him a little bit of the boundary, and he was able to go there.
Which he does so well, Nick Lawson. Talk about champions. He is very much that, with the high IQ and intelligence of the game. But didn't Nick Watson have some power? My goodness, to be able to do that, to be able to burn him off and just take it away, and clearly got past him and loved it and saw the opportunity maybe just to draw another free kick there at the end by hitting Miller as he went past.
I don't think Miller was trying to get out of the way either.
Couple of seconds left to three-quarter time. Siren about to sound, but they have put the hammer down. Hawthorn won't have your company on Fox Footy. Celebration of Hawthorn's 100-year anniversary in the VFL. And they go to three-quarter time with a 49-point margin. And they're going to celebrate hard as they finish this off with a big last quarter. 77, plays 28.
Come on. Welcome in. How you going? How you doing? There we go. Three-quarter time. It's the Hawks doing it comfortably here at the MCG. 11-11-77. Tigers 4-4, 28. There we go. The Tigers put on 2 straight goals in that third term. The Hawks, though, 4 goals, 3. Still not a bad effort by the Tigers, holding to, what's that, 49 points? 49 points, the Hawks. 90 points? I'm not sure whether that's possible, 90 points. What's that, 50, another 41. They've got to kick 7 goals in the final term to Richmond's 0 to get to the 90, but you just never know. Paul, how you doing? Thanks, Teddy, for hanging in there. T-Name Bem Bem, the manager's in the house. What's going on? There we go. Let's have a look at the goal scorers now. We've got multiple goal scorers. Of course, Nick Watson, the Wizard. I tell you what, he likes to mouth off this bloke. He likes to mouth off him and Ginnivan. If they didn't like it, they went off crying when Ken Hinkley said they're not getting on a plane last year in the finals. I tell you what, Nick Watson, if you're going to give it, you've got to be able to take it. Jack Gunston with 2. Kicks his 500th goal in AFL football. Well done, Jack Gunston. Great stuff. The other mouth of the South, Jack Ginnivan there with 2. Of course, singles to Sicily, McGuinness and Chol. Luke Bruce also popping up for 1. For the Tigers, Mansell, Green, Fowl, Campbell are the only goal scorers, so only 4 there. Josh Battle continues to lead the way on the disposal count, though. He's on 24. Tops the table with 15 and 9, 8 marks. Jai Newcomb, 22. With Jai at 22, Impey with 22, and of course Jacob Hopper from the Tigers, 22 also. Jacob Hopper leading the Tigers' way. Finn McGuinness on 20, Ambrosia on 20, he's doing quite well. Tim Taranto, he's getting a little bit of the play there, 17, 8 kicks, 9 handballs, 7 tackles, so he's doing well, 3 clearances. There we go. Josh Weddle celebrating his 50th game. 50th? 150th. 50th game. That's right. I've got to recap my memory there, folks. He's on 15, so he's going okay. All right, let's keep rolling down the ground. Jack Ginnivan doing a little bit out there today. Not too bad with 14 touches, 9 kicks, 5 handballs. 2 goals, 2. Not a bad result from him. Dylan Moore up to 11. Jaden Short there for the Tigers on 12. Sam Banks, 13. Gunston, as we said, 11 kicks, 7 kicks from 11 disposals, 4 handballs, 3 marks of tackles, 2 goals, 1. 500 goals, as I said. Toby Dan Curvis, 10 and 23 hitouts. Cop the Wizard a little bit higher on one of those. The biggest man versus the tall man. A little bit like David and Goliath there. There we go. Just rolling down. There are your pages. Nick Watson still looks a little bit dangerous when he does get the ball. 7 touches, 5 kicks with 3 straight goals. So he's got his kicking boot on. Absolutely. Tom Lynch, very quiet day here from Tom Lynch, the big forward down there for the Tigers. Yeah, just the 5 touches, 4 kicks, 1 handball. He's had 3 marks to tackle, but he's only managed to kick 1 behind as Morris Rioli, just the 1 behind there. They need to lift in the Tigers. They need to show a little bit of that Tiger spirit, the Tiger fight from this young team. Can they claw their way back into this match, or can the Hawks just fly away with a big victory? We'll certainly find out in just a moment, folks. Let's head back down to the commentators. We're only a minute away from the bounce of the ball for the final quarter here at the MCG. It's the Hawks by 49.
Like many of his teammates, he doesn't stop. He likes to join in the flow of the passage of play. And if he's still free, he still gets used. And you can just see the Tigers still trying to chase as Weddle goes past them. You look behind the goals, Noah Bolger is forced to make a decision. It's ultimately wrong to come up and try and impact the contest. And there's that man, Jack Gunston. Game number 266 today. 100 years of football for the Hawthorn Football Club. And he kicks goal number 500. And he celebrates a little bit as all of his teammates celebrate for him, and they worship him, and rightly so. He's been a fantastic player for this footy club.
A couple of big moments in that third quarter as all of the MCG and the players from the Hawks dipped their lid to Jack Gunston with those 500 career goals.
Yeah,
what have you made of it, Bucks?
Oh, look, they've definitely been able to take their chances forward of the ball more often than not. They've had 22 scores from pretty much the same inside 50s as Richmond, and have got their 8. I can only agree with what Dal said, though. 6 quarter time, the Hawthorn back 6 have been able to get some bounce. Josh Battle's been really strong. He's had a lot of the ball since quarter time. Impey running off the halfback. I thought CJ had a really good quarter then. Just some basics, and stuck some tackles, some really good ground level work, some run and carry. He's really got involved in the game, had a really good quarter.
And boys, a clear change of tactic from the Tigers as well in that third quarter, a little bit more chipping around, holding the football.
Yeah, it was, because it seemed to work. They were able to build the ball up and enter on their terms inside forward 50 as opposed to just kicking long to the contest all the time. There's some faces and some names that they would love to get back in their side up there.
Starting sub for Hawthorn, Bailey McDonald. Dylan Moore might be subbed out here. We'll get more from Nick Del Santo in a moment. So 49 points the margin as we kick off the final term. Nan Curvis with the first possession off the deck, looking for Lawler. Morrison fighting for it. Ball really going nowhere there. Quite appropriate. We'll be heading to the bounce with Jason Dunstall after this match. A man who kicked 17 goals against Richmond back in 1992. That was Sunday, and followed it up with 12, a lazy 12 the next time they played. And Curvis down to Hopper, dispossessed. Ward chucks it on the boot, and it's good enough. Ginnivan going to spread it. D'Ambrosio running, it just has to sit for him. Tries to pat it to himself, and the advantage of Weddle. Weddle beat one, slipped over a crucial stage. Ralph Smith kept his footing, then his handball ricochets off. Campbell takes his medicine, goes to ground.
And maybe you are spot on. Dylan Moore has been tactically subbed out of the game. Bailey McDonald will come on.
Weddle has changed his boots as well, so wasn't happy with the traction he got with the new ones either in that moment. Newcomb, Ginnivan. That's a good mark. Sub coming on for Zeiss. He's fresh, but he still had to hold his ground. And 50.
Yeah, was told to stand on the mark and couldn't quite hear the umpire, Morrison, and accordingly has been paid 50 against.
Zeiss.
Forward of it. Get forward.
Which is out wide. Mansley's target got it. So just on was Bailey McDonald. He was edged out in that contest, his first contest since coming on as the sub.
That's it, Ryan.
seen a little bit more of that, the use of the hands. That rule seems to have gone by the wayside. A little bit more in the side, that one, but created space for himself.
Game 58, he is one of their stars with a big upside. He misses here. Throws his head back.
He's a really hard-working player, Dwayne. He sort of gets up and back, finds himself in a lot of scoring opportunities, but hasn't yet developed the ability to take full advantage of those.
Jeff, the half volley. Little hesitation, then Sicily backed him up. Jaff, and there he is. Bailey McDonald subbed on, very keen to have the football. And McGuinness did well. He kept running as well. Sideways. Ward. Go laterally to D'Ambrosio. He'll stay in the middle. That's a good kick too to Watson. He's kicked 3.
He's on his own in that pocket for a very long time, but beautiful recognition by CJ to be able to look forward, because they've done that a bit, the Hawks, switching the ball across the ground to try and find the open man, but he looked forward and found Nick Watson all on his own inside 50.
He's fired up, the young man, is Nick Watson. After that previous goal, he comes in from 46. Just wasn't able to sneak it in.
For number 4. 4's the most he's ever kicked in a game, so he's stepping out a career high. Lost him down the spine. Bolton. Dangerous, but it might work. Broad couldn't cut it off. Ward couldn't trap it. Banks. Broad the 1-2 with Hopper. Rolls it wide. Full. Good poise. Rouse Smith runs. Handball will in his eyes. He cut it off beautifully. Might still get the reward. Hands it to Sicily. Turned over again. Full read his eyes. Banks. Taranto. Trainer. And they can reset the Tigers. Trainer runs the wing.
Kick to a 2-on-2. Ross. Lawler. Lynch. I would have liked a little bit more of that earlier on. Quick transfer of the football.
Yeah, it was Lawler's ability to be able to watch this, get back to his feet and stay involved in the contest. Beautiful kick by Ross, but even just to be able to compose yourself, lower your eyes. And I mean, this man's worked hard all day. It hasn't quite worked out for him. He's crashed packs. He's put himself in the contest. He's been physical. It would be just reward for Tom Lynch.
He's kicked the one behind. Directly in front and starts it left and smacks it into the woodwork. But it's not your day, it's not your day.
Well, he had 9 scoring shots last week for 3 goals, 3 behinds and 3 that didn't register, so he's having a bit of a tough time of it in front of the big sticks at the moment, Lynchy.
So Dwayne, 48 points is the margin. Hawks' biggest winning margin this year has been 50.
See how they go here in this closing stage. Bolter. Saw Sam Mitchell on the bench at the moment.
Outside 5. As is Adam Uze, Dwayno. He's seen enough as well from upstairs. He's boundary side.
Waddles had a bounce. North of the square. He goes for home. And the party may have started.
Yeah, his eyes lit up, didn't they, Dwayne? He was on that loose ball like a hawk on a chip. And then he was away. He thought, I'm on here. I'll take a bounce. I'll get myself within range. There's an open goal square. I just need to put it on line, and he was able to finish it with great skill. That was a bad mistake to make there, and Hawthorn took full toll.
Talk about just reward down the other end with Lynch. Weddle, he's played here, there, everywhere. He goes back to full forward, but he's been involved in 6 scoring change, and it's nice reward for effort. He's acknowledged by his faithful down in the goal square.
So Meek flicks it back. Warple, Meek, Ward, Just can't quite break free. Richmond doing well initially. Now Warple. Short kick. And finds Bruce. And then running hard for him, D'Ambrosio.
I think it's good strategic coaching too, as D'Ambrosio looks for a better option, a bit more angle. But late in the games, it's been Sicily or Weddle or Barras we saw go there last week. When the game is under control, it's an opportunity just to keep giving time to a player, a shift of players to work out what the best mix is, should they want to shuffle the deck chairs a little bit against an opponent later in the year.
So D'Ambrosio, he wants a piece of the goal. Kicking action from the left, swings it around. The party has started, and the music's starting to annoy the neighbours.
He's had a good day, D'Ambrosio. That's his second goal to go with 22 possessions. Been really important. Probably hasn't started the year like he may have finished it last year, but he's just like Hawthorn, getting a bit of momentum, getting a bit of form as he builds into this season. But you mentioned about the versatility of Weddle, and I think Sam Mitchell would have probably put a line through Barras going forward. I don't think we'll see that last week. There was a bit of a theatre against his old side, but they do have great flexibility, don't they? And a great opportunity at this point in time in the game on a big night for the club is to be able to swing things and try things.
It's getting loud in here. Joel, Ward, Hustley. Cloaks in the half forward, Ginnivan.
Outside 5.
Options are plenty. Goes to the hero of the afternoon, Jack Gunston. Line up to goal, 5-0-1.
Well, he just doesn't stop moving. I know as a forward, he probably sniffs a bit of blood, Bucks, when you get in front like this in big moments for your football club, and you continue to keep working. But he certainly does that. Beautiful craft.
3 Hawthorn premierships, a Hawthorn BNF. Touched is the call, so the crowd will go up, but it won't be a goal. Hawthorn cheer squad's gone up, 50,000 have erupted.
You have to review that.
So they're not trusting the umpire's call to touch their own.
Review underway.
He did get close to the man on the mark, so he invited the potential for this. Is that conclusive, Dwayne?
Well, it's
either way.
probably unable to be overturned.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched by the right hand of the Richmond defender. Decision on the scoreboard.
It's become a sport, hasn't it? You've got the score review system. The crowd gets involved.
I think they secretly love the review system.
Whether you think so, they've got skin in the game or not.
Yep.
It's always interesting.
Asked the Collingwood fans last night how much they enjoyed it.
Oh, no.
Size, exiting defensive 50 to Bolter. And Bolter just barrels the ball down the line. 2 against 1. Miller against 2 opponents, but wins himself a free kick for holding. Plays on. Kick inside 50. Weddle all on his own, as if he had a Richmond jumper on.
We're talking about sniffing blood. Hawk and the fact that the game's a little bit more open now. The ball used through the midfield is a little sharper as we see one hit the deck.
Well, Smith left it behind. Ginnivan with the mopping up. Run along the wing. So Ginnivan receiving it from Ward, and D'Ambrosio receiving it from Ginnivan. Jath. Handball looking for Ward, and has to go scrapping for it. Back to Weddle. He's loving this, Weddle. He's thoroughly enjoying his afternoon. And then Jath spotting Gunston. They crashed. Bruce was there, lost sight of it. Banks grabbed by Bruce and locked up. So the lowest score for the year for Richmond against the Dockers was 47. So at the moment, Hawks with the biggest margin they've had all year, 61.
See if they can conjure another one here. Miller wrapped up.
It belies a little bit what the first quarter looked like and what Richmond were able to do to maintain the ball in their front half. But you've got to score when you get your chances.
Bruce plays the tackle on Dow.
Thank you.
So Weddle doing the ruck now. Joel is lurking, but Weddle says, I'll take it. And he thumps it down. Rouse Smith goes back. Taranto hammers it out. Battle waits for it. Gets it. D'Ambrosio. Inside targets are plenty. Campbell had a stolen from him. Ward turns and goes. Joel. Did that hit the post? Stayed in play. Little keeps it alive. Broad. Little bizarre. Trezise. Back to Broad. All the way to Campbell. He turned outside. Newcomb knew exactly what he was doing. $62,321 in the house, and the best part of 60,000 loving every second of it.
Weddle has weight off his shoelaces. Takes the tackle. Taranto. Trezise. Hoping for Taranto. Under enormous pressure. Morrison all wrapped up. Gives away. Free kick here, Taranto. To Newcomb.
Getting their second running over the ball is a skill now, isn't it?
Kick was too hot. Down met it hard. Full. Ross. Brown. Back with the flight. Game opening up late in the piece. Green. So Steely Green looks for the pocket. Who's he kicking it to? Straight down the throat of Battle without a Tiger inside.
I think Ralph Smith hit up. So he's hit when Green expected him to zag.
Battle. All the way across to Sicily. Impey. Picking your way through them at the moment. McDonald. Sub getting a couple of touches now. Wide. Newcomb. Huswaite. Oh, they are full of run now. Messing with them now. Jeff. McDonald. Dunstan. He backs back. He's got a few options. He centers it to D'Ambrosio. Can he get there? Yes, he can.
I'm pretty sure three-quarter time McDonald's been told, I want you to get the ball and I want you to run as hard as you can towards the goal, see if you can create an overlap, get involved in as many chains as possible, as many times as you possibly can. He's had two really big runs where he's had 3, 4, 5 touches in them combined, and he's shown a little bit of composure with the ball use too. He's another likely type.
Play his 50th game in a few weeks. Now's the Mo D'Ambrosio. And he must love being with his happy team at Hawthorn. He's got a couple.
You can't help but feel in the number 16 playing on the wing, kicking on his left foot. It reminds me a bit about one of my old teammates and a sparring partner for many years, Isaac Smith. Had a huge ability to be able to cover the ground, but we've seen that from D'Ambrosio today, whether it's late getting the reward in the game going forward and getting some marks inside forward 50, or whether it's his work when he gets back in the D50 to start an attacking chain. But he has every bit found that form that he had last year, and really, really impressive day from him, but he's had a few mates with him.
That's 60,000 spectators thoroughly enjoying this. One team not would be Melbourne, who play Hawthorn next week. Taranto spreading it wide. Trainer can't quite control it. Uses his left hand and worked it out eventually to Nan Curvis. So Nankervis, good spot to Dow. Now goes short Taranto. Taranto with 21 touches today, 10 kicks. It's a long one, looking for Mansell. For his shoelaces. It's going to be a free kick to Jaff, and he didn't really like it, really. Going over to Mansell and telling him all about it. CJ's going to switch play towards the members' side to Hardwick.
Outside 5.
15 touches for Hardwick. Ginnivan. Oh, that's a heavy contest. It's a mark paid to Ambrosio. Hit hard over the top by Trainer. He spreads it to McDonald. So Melbourne's the next opponent. Then it's Gold Coast and Brisbane after that for the Hawks. Ambrosio with another possession. Gives ground. It's a little bit messy. Hardwick is going to pick up the slot and kick it out to Jaff. Plays on to Battle. The Hawks full of running again.
Yeah, Jaff wanted it back. That was the reason he gave it to Battle. Run continues. It's like it's the first quarter they're running that hard, the Hawks. Huswaite. Newcomb. Blasts it long. There's a Gunston out the back. The Lizard went up.
He's not going to die wondering, is he?
The Lizard?
No. Love it.
Yeah, you do.
I do. He has a crack at everything. Why not? So what if there's 2 6'6" players around me? I'm just going to be the one to go mark it. No, he's well within his rights, given that he was the one that had to fly the best jump at it.
They're not down in that congestion. Newcomb turned his body into it. D'Ambrosio. Sicily. Corrals it. Caught. Flicks it back. Hardwick. The swing man who can play forward, back, goes back to Battle. We must be enjoying being with his new club as well. Huswaite. Hit the pause button. Back to Battle. Wide ball is a downfield. The Gunston's marked it anyway.
The free kick's been given. The free kick's been given. Don't give it away. No, up.
Every little thing is escalated tonight, isn't it? This afternoon.
Let's go.
A bit of bad blood between these two.
Let's go. No.
And the usual suspects as well.
For goal 501. One of their all-time greats. Jack Gunston. Fist in the air. You want to know what love is? That's the sound of love in the house here at the MCG. Hawthorn fans absolutely love it. There's a few spot fires around, but they have driven their way to a 73-point margin, Hawthorn.
They're just in total control now. You can see once a side like Hawthorn has the ability to get their team in shape and the system is working and their efficiencies are where they want to be, they find time and space and they take time and space away from the opposition. They connect and make everything look relatively, well, absolutely simple. And that's because they're all playing in sync. And they've been able to hit the scoreboard and prevent Richmond from getting field position. And they've really exerted that dominance since quarter time.
Huswaite for the Hawks. Hopper, then Curvis along the ground, picked up by Huswaite, McDonald, Warble, Ward, threads the eye of the needle, gets a little chip to Toll. So, not finished yet, the Hawks. Toll onto the left boots, Broad, red at the best. Touches for Broad. Taranto. And now Trainer. to short. We're sticking at the pineapple grapple. Still to come. Round 8 of AFL football on Fox. And kick pulled short and battle with the mark to Hardwick at half-back. Could be the biggest Q clash ever. Hardwick, McGuinness into the centre. Mansell almost cut it off. In fact, he did cut it off. Taranto, Dow, McIntosh, an interception, giving Richmond a chance. As Brown has it, half forward. Low ball towards the top of the square. Lynch couldn't quite grab it. Battle did. Sat it up for Ward. Bounced okay for him. Battle wide. D'Ambrosio leaves D50. And not quite a grab that time by Weddle. He's going to earn himself a free kick anyway.
Well, they can raffle it out here. Ginnivan, McDonald, they do raffle it. Ginnivan, a little shepherd. McDonald, that is an amazing kick to Dunstan. That is as good as it gets as a pass to your leading forward. Oh, Dunstan chips it over the top. Joel demolishing the Tigers. And the meter's still running. We got 3:40 left.
I do wonder whether there was a message at three-quarter time about foot on float. I know the Hawthorn mentality of old would be about not letting go and playing the game out and taking full toll and full advantage. This is like the Hawthorn teams of old where they do exactly that, and it's done with real efficiency as we just discussed, but there's a malicious intent as well. As we're not going to give a sucker an even break, let's finish it off.
And it's amazing how much then you come back to that during the season. Like the season ebbs and flows and you go through form slumps, and to be able to look back on a quarter where they've completely dominated possession, they've completely dominated time in forward half, they've hit the scoreboard, they've been efficient when they've gone forward and scored. So absolutely they will be talking about this and drawing on it for weeks to come.
Another ball up, Mulligan in the middle. Nankervis. Hopper wins it. Nankervis, Lawler. Straight down the corridor and Lynch with the one-hander. And he dashes back. Hopes to add a little bit of respectability to the scoreboard. He'd like to kick a goal himself. He's kicked 2 behinds for the afternoon. Tom Lynch comes in and really pulls it left quite viciously.
Yeah, he just sat back on it, obviously nervous a bit about the way he's kicking of late. Simon just poked and just came back off the ball and sat back off it, and as a result, he pushed it right.
So disappointed Adamuze. Got a couple of winners with a hand off to Dow. Runs inside 50, unselfish. In the second tier.
I think James Sicily will be rethinking that option. There's a couple now that they've sort of just floated through the midfield speculatively, and they've actually hurt them and come back the other way. Richmond kicked 3 of their 5 goals in a 6-minute play period, a couple before half-time and 1 out of it. So it's been slim pickings outside of that for them, but this turnover was a rolled gold opportunity for them to hit the scoreboard, and Paddy Dow lowers his eyes to make it an absolute Monty of a goal to Brown.
Looks like he's playing on James Sicily here, so a learning opportunity for Tom Brown, who plays a little bit similar in a way to Sicily in height and flexibility, so great experience for him.
Mansell, Johnny Fall, Tom Brown, Seth Campbell and Steely Green, the goal kickers today for the Tigers. Hawthorn not finished yet. Piercing ball towards half forward. Bolter up against the boundary line. Loops it over the top to Vlosten. Short Taranto. And Trainer's kick. Long range kick. Campbell. Little nudge after he marked it. Umpire didn't see much in it. Then he goes centering ball to Lawler. So one of the great hopes for the Tigers, Sam Lawler. We've seen his quality already earlier in the season, particularly their big win against Carlton early on. Sam Lawler with 7 goals in 6 matches. So looking for a little bit of a consolation prize here. Stabs at it and missed it.
Hawthorn Footy Club was formed way back in 1873 in the front bar of the Hawthorn Hotel. Joined the VFL in 1925 as the Mayblooms. There might be a few consumed in the celebration tonight. It's been an emphatic performance. Sicily, pumped away from him by Brown, good little battle. Boston still playing the game. Big crowd, an amazing club. 13 premierships for the Hawks.
It's the last thing you need, the last minute of the game that you're getting well beaten in. Rolled ankle.
Hopper, Dow, he wants the 1-2. Gentleman comes at him. Short, McIntosh told to go, it wasn't required.
Trainer running hard through the middle. Broad, Trainer thinks short, goes centre, Hopper. He goes even shorter for size. Wasn't sufficient distance, but he played on quickly and did it well. Subbed on, and that's his first goal in AFL football. So well done, James Tresize.
Yeah, floodgates opening a little bit the other way, Dwayne. You said there was 3 minutes left, and it seems that the Richmond are the ones that have been able to find a little bit more time and space and been able to get through the Hawthorn defence. They moved the ball so well since quarter time, as we discussed, Hawthorn, and it's probably got a bit easier in this quarter, which means if you turn it over, they're not really thinking about defending quite as much as they were earlier in the game, and Richmond have been able to find a few gaps. But Andy Collins, I was a 18-year-old NT boy when he gave me a little bit of encouragement and advice and really helped me along, so I always remember him, and he's been a great man in football, not just at Hawthorn but at many clubs since.
So 65 points the margin here at the MCG. The closing stages of what's been a great day for the Hawks. Hopper's kick inside 50, not caught by Mansell, and appropriately Hawthorn are going to have possession when the siren sounds. They're celebrating a century of greatness and a big win at the MCG in front of 62,231. They are a happy team at Hawthorn. Nathan Buckley and Tom Hawkins, it was their day, wasn't it? Right from the start.
Yeah,
They never gave Richmond a chance.
Yeah, it sure was. Led by some of their stars down back. I thought CJ and Josh battle for a guy that's come into a new football club, which is hard to do. He has been such a general, which has allowed Sicily and Weddle and guys like this to be able to have so much more flexibility within their system. D'Ambrosio on the wing, he finished with 30. He kicks 2 goals himself and has been involved in 11 scoring changes as well. So a very much a beneficiary of the way they finished the game.
Nick Del Santo is down with the captain, James Sicily.
Well, Sis, it's been a hell of a day. It's been a huge week for the footy club. What are the emotions right now?
Oh, yeah, awesome. Like, that pre-game was pretty special. I think it was one of the better build-ups that we've been a part of. So we really wanted to try and put on a show for those guys and make them wish that they could cross the line one more time. And slow first half, but got going in the last half, and hopefully they enjoyed the day. And yeah, one of those guys who have done so much for our club.
We saw some vision of Sam Mitchell addressing not only the current playing group, but looked like anyone that wanted to be a part of it that's a past player. Can you share a little bit about that conversation and what was said?
Oh, it was just about trying to make those guys envious that, you know, their time's up, but they would love to be able to cross the white line and represent Hawthorn one more time. So yeah, it was as a man just doing the club proud, doing those guys proud, because they've set a good foundation for us in terms of success and built the club into what it is today. So yeah, Raptor were about to get a result, and hopefully they had a good day.
Was there any extra pressure with the current group, given the significance of today and the 13 cups and everything that went before, which was spectacular? Did you feel a sense of responsibility?
Yeah, we definitely feel a sense of responsibility, but I don't think we ever let it be a burden on us. We always try and lean into it and just embrace it. Like, pretty cool that we get to be able to put on a show for those guys and try and do them proud, and to be wearing, you know, the numbers on our backs that they used to wear. So yeah, it was all pretty cool.
A lot of the older players here. You've also got some new players. You've got 2 playing beside you in Barras and Battle.
Yeah.
It often takes guys a little while to find their feet in a new system, but it looks like they fit it in perfectly.
Yeah, no, they're doing so well. You know, we were pretty good today. Like, we are 6 goals in a whole game of footy is pretty good. And, you know, we'll keep building. We haven't really clicked, to be honest. As a whole team, we're still like trying to get through our gears and find that good footy that we know we can play. But there's plenty of time, and we're training really hard, and we're working together. So I'm spewing, I missed out on his 500 goal too. I was stuck on the bench.
Come on in, Jack. Come join us. Come join us. Hey, congratulations. Superb. Come on in. Hey, well done. It's been a fantastic career, and you and Luke Bruce are probably the link between Sam Mitchell, the past, and that current group. Explain or describe the feelings you have with not only your 500 goals, but the game today.
I was actually really nervous for the game today. I didn't want to not come out and the team not perform, and the people that have been here for the 100 years of this footy club not walk away with a smile on their face. So I'm glad we could get the result. I'm glad the boys could put on a bit of a show, and hopefully there's a lot of smiles from the legends of this footy club.
What do you hold dear? What do you reflect on when you think about your time here? You played 266 games total. You got all the goals. What brings that smile to your face?
Oh, it's the success of this footy club and the constant drive to be better and to stay at the top of the ladder. And also for me, the number that I wear, I'm really close with Ben Dixon, with Alan Goad and Jason Dunstall. So I love that we've created a little bit of banter, a little bit of goal kicking. A little bit of goal kicking craft that they come down and help out. So look, it's great. I love this footy club, and I'm glad we could put a smile on a few faces.
Tell us about that 500th goal. It was a beautiful passage of play where you snuck out the back, gave yourself a little bit of a tight angle, but it's like shelling peas.
Yeah, they're the easy ones. The tight angles are the easy ones. Look, I was a little bit nervous just because I knew the carrying that the boys were planning throughout the week. So look, it was great. The fans to have the whole stadium playing on the board is something pretty cool and pretty special. And
like a fine wine. You just continue to get better and just find different ways to almost reinvent yourself. Tell us about your preparation and how you're performing like you are.
Yeah, I've got my body in a good spot, so that helps. I'm building confidence. I've got a pre-season that I was really happy with, and look, as a good forward, you've got to credit the midfielders. The way we move the ball helps me be at my best. So, look, we keep winning and keep kicking 16 goals. It makes the forward line a little bit easier to play.
Something scary. James Sicily said you haven't quite hit your straps just yet. There's more to come. Do you agree? And what are those areas that you can improve on?
Yeah, I do agree, but we've also been scouted probably by a lot of teams after our season last year. So, look, a lot of our ball movement we do get stuck at times, and we're a bit messy. So to clean up that, and probably our potency going inside 50. I think the last few weeks we kicked a few behind, so clean that up as well.
There's a few little scuffles today. You're probably a bit smart and probably a bit too wise to join him. You got a couple of little whippets around you that are happy to talk.
Yeah, I'll let them talk. I'm too old to get in scuffles. I've got the energy, so I'll let them go. It's a bit of theatre, a bit of fun, and that's what it's about.
It's also expensive, so no point handing it over anymore. Mate, hey, congratulations. It's been a pleasure to watch you over the years, and well done.
No worries. Thanks, Al.
Well, the Hawks doing a little bit of a lap of honour, and deservedly so. It's their day, Bucks.
Yeah, well, their day, as in the club, and the 23 individuals that represented today, as both James Sicily and Jack Gunston mentioned, it's about the opportunity they have as young men to live out their dreams, and they're in the midst of it, in the moments. They get to pull the Guernsey on, they get to represent, put in the blood, sweat and tears of preparation, and then get out to go out in the MCG and play a game of footy. How good's that? If you're good at it and you've got prospects of being a contender, it's motivation enough. So, Sicily and Gunston, two of the more experienced players in this team, and Gunston, what a revelation he's been the last 4 weeks coming into the side. Hawthorn are only 2-2, but he had another 3 goals and 3 direct goal assists today, 6 of the 16, and he's been as damaging in front of the goals as any player in the competition in the last month.
You guys know what it feels like to run onto the Melbourne cricket ground, but for the Hawks before the match to have the legends surrounded with that 2-minute build-up, that was stirring to watch.
Yeah, it was, and whether you played for Hawthorn or barracked for Hawthorn, you couldn't help but, as you rightfully said in the telecast, to shed a tear and get the goosebumps, because it was just so well done by the Hawthorn Football Club. We talk about the names throughout the coverage, and they're really special, but it's internally obviously been a really important part of their week where they've built it up and talked about it. And you could sense by the pressure a couple of times that Jack talked about how much the players actually bought in and cherished the moment to be able to actually be the 23 players that got to play on such a special occasion. So you see them out here now as a group. I can't help but feel like those past legends will be in the inner sanctum downstairs, and they'll embrace and talk and celebrate. It's quite an incredible club. The names, they're just so big in football. Their best side would rival any across the AFL competition.
Yeah, and the young Chargers that took the field today did them proud. I mean, there was a competition. There was a lot of contest. Richmond came to play. There was a bit of pluck in the first 30 minutes. They had inside 50s. They held field position. They couldn't get to the scoreboard, but after quarter time, Hawthorn were absolutely dominant. They had 23 more contested possessions. They had 16 more inside 50s. The clearances, they were up +5. They had 100 more disposals. So it was quite significant as the game wore on. Their system, their ability to play for one another and connect as a team unit was evident. It probably shows you the different stages of evolution that both Hawthorn and Richmond are in, but they did what a good team had to do, and I agree with James Sisson. I don't think they're playing anywhere near their best, and they've got to. They're still a top 4 side in the competition. They're getting the wins under their belt, but they'll need to find better as the season progresses. They have the time, and they definitely have the players and the makeup to be able to do it.
So Melbourne, Gold Coast and Brisbane, the next 3 assignments. Let's wrap it up. It's a big day for the Hawthorn Football Club, and this will be very special as they belt out the tune.
This program brought to you by NAB.
All right, folks, there we go. It was the Hawks' big winners over the Tigers, 65-point winners, 16-13, 109. The Hawks, the Tigers, 6-8, 44. Hawks piling on 5 goals, 2 in that final term. The Tigers could only manage, I should say, 2 goals for. As I keep saying every week, don't worry about how the win-loss ratio of Richmond. They're just working on their game. And as I keep saying, they'll be a good side next year. Don't worry about that. Stuart Helm, how you going? And thanks, Teddy, for hanging in there. And, of course, everyone else. There we go. Another game done and dusted. I think I was going to bring the live ladder over, but I don't think it's quite... There it is. Just before we go... Actually, let's go to the stats, and then I'll bring the live ladder over there. Just the goal scorers as we end up this afternoon. Nick Watson, Jack Gunston, both 3 for the Hawks. Jack Ginnivan, Ambrosia and Chol, 2 for the Hawks. Singles to Weddle, Sicily, Magnus, who else? Luke Bruce. And, of course, for the Tigers, Trezise, Mansell, Green, Fall, Campbell, Brown were the single goal scorers there. Leading possession getter on the ground, of course, Josh Battle led the way all day. He topped the table with 33. We had 3 players in the 30s today. Giants from the Hawks, 32. And, of course, Ambrosia with 30. Fantastic game from him. 23 kicks, 7 handballs, 9 marks, 2 clearances, 2 goals, 1. Well done. Of course, Jacob Hopper continued to lead the way out there for the Tigers, I should say, on 28. Let's just roll down this a little bit. As we can see, Jack Ginnivan didn't add any more goals after three-quarter time, still ended up with the 2. Of course, as I said before, it was great to see Gunston, I think, kick his 500th goal. 3 goals, 2 from his 11 kicks. A great day for him. There we go, just rolling down. The big man, Nan Curvis for the Tigers, 14 touches, 29 hitouts, 4 clearances. He always performs well, always gives his best. As we just keep on rolling down, I just want to relay all these stats to everyone. Luke Bruce just with 10 touches, 1 goal, 1. There we go. Looking at Tom Lynch, how he ended up today, the forward for the Tigers. 7 touches, he had 6 kicks, 1 handball, 5 marks a tackle, only managed 3 behind. The team stats, the Hawks got away from the Tigers, 117 plus on the disposal count, 58 on the kicks, nearly 60 on the handballs. Wow-wee. There we go, inside 50s, well held, only 17 inside 50s in the final half of football to the Tigers, 26 inside 50s for the Hawks in the second half, 51-42. Hawks really ramped up their pressure. Disposal efficiency, fantastic from both sides, 81 and 78. That's really high from both sides. Efficiency inside 50 as well, pretty good from both sides. Free kicks, well, Hawthorn just ran away with that, 23 to 10. I don't know how Hawthorn gets so many free kicks, but that is just the way it is. As you can see, their season average is really, really high. So, well, they obviously must play for free kicks. There we go. Plus 10 in the hitouts, plus 7 in the clearances. 7 clearances were good for both teams. Tigers hold their head up high there. 9-8, only won the difference. Stoppage clearances, though. Hawks by 6. They won just about everything today out there, did the Hawks. Contested possessions by about 40 there. Of course, uncontested, just controlling the game by about 90. Turnovers, a little bit, look, both teams under season average, so it's not too bad. And not many turnovers from the Hawks, which is quite impressive during the game. Of course, with all that uncontested possession comes the marks. And the Hawks plus 26 there. Marks inside 50. Both teams created space, 21-13. That's a big number for both teams. Contested marks, Hawks just a little bit better. Both teams tackled pretty well and tackled inside 50. There we go, 46 apiece, 5-6. Let me just bring the live ladder in. And what does that mean? Well, that means Hawthorn now jump second on the ladder. That's right, second on the ladder. Boosted their percentage up to 125.6. Played 8, won 6, dropped 2. And, of course, Richmond down here, they stand down there, if I can lift that up. Down in 16th position. Played 8. They've actually won 2 games. They're not too bad. Lost 6, 63% there. The one thing for Hawthorn, Well, no matter what happens in the next game, Hawthorn will drop to third on the ladder, I would imagine. They'll drop to third, Collingwood will drop to second, and whoever wins between Brisbane and Gold Coast will jump to the top of the ladder. That's the next game coming up, folks, and that's coming up in just over 1 hour's time, 7:20 p.m. Melbourne time. Of course, Brisbane taking on the Gold Coast Suns up there at the Gabba. That should be an absolute cracking game. They're playing for top spot on the ladder, make no mistake. Both teams will be out with that will to win, with that fire in their belly. They know what's on the line, and what's on the line is top spot on the ladder after round 8 is completed. Final game of round 8 should be an absolute ripper, of course, for Brisbane and the Gold Coast, playing for top spot. Next week for the Hawks and the Tigers, of course, next Saturday, Hawthorn take on Melbourne at the MCG. It's a early afternoon game. That's a 1:20 p.m. start Melbourne time at the MCG. Melbourne taking on Hawthorn. So that should be another fantastic game, but I think the Hawks may get the job done again. And of course, for the Tigers, well, this is a very winnable game for the Tigers next week. Tigers play at home next Sunday at the MCG. They take on the 18th place, bottom of the ladder, West Coast Eagles. So Richmond versus the West Coast Eagles. Fascinating game. Both teams are not really putting wins on the board, but in parts of their game, they're putting on some good patches of footy. So that'll be another interesting game. Even though it's 16th versus 18th, that'll be an absolute cracker game to watch. I certainly look forward to that game. And of course, football round 9. After, of course, we've still got the Brisbane Gold Coast Suns game coming up next, the last game of round 8. And of course, football again, round 9, all kicks off next Thursday evening. Fremantle Dockers at home at Optus Stadium. They're taking on Collingwood, so that should be a big game for both teams. Both teams needing a win desperately to win that game. Next Friday, we've got St Kilda taking on Carlton at the MCG. That's going to be another fascinating game. And of course, as I said, Saturday, Melbourne taking on Hawthorn at the MCG. Mid-afternoon, we've got Essendon taking on Sydney at Marvel Stadium. I think that's one that Essendon might be able to bounce back and have a win there. And of course, this is probably going to be the match of the round, I think, folks. It could be. Saturday evening, we've got the Gold Coast Suns at home. Oh, actually, they're playing in Darwin, so they're not at home. They're taking on the Western Bulldogs, which are in absolutely hot form at TIO Stadium up there in Darwin. United GK, how you doing? How you going? Streaming the Brisbane? Absolutely. That should be a cracking game. I really don't know who I want to win there. Whoever wins that game will go on top. You know what? You got the young guns of the Gold Coast that are playing well, and you got the senior skilled players of the Brisbane Lions. You've got to sway to Brisbane at home. If it was at the Gold Coast, I would probably tip Gold Coast. This is at the Gabba, so I'll be tipping probably Brisbane. So that's going to be a big game next week. And of course, next Saturday night, they've got the big derby over there. Port Adelaide taking on the Adelaide Crows. Of course, next Sunday, we've got Richmond taking on the West Coast Eagles, MCG. Following with that, another fantastic grudge game at GMHBA Stadium where the Geelong Cats taking on, well, the out-of-form GWS Giants. Should be an easy one there for the Catters. And, of course, the last game next week, around 9, North Melbourne taking on Brisbane at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. That'll be an interesting game. But anyway, should be fantastic. Oh, you might pop in. Good stuff. Yeah, that'll be going in about 1 hour's time. 1 hour from now, 1 hour and 6 minutes that game starts in. Exactly 1 hour and 6 minutes that game will start. So, yeah, I want to do that. That's going to be a fascinating game. Really be interesting to watch and listen to that game. We did get the poll right in the vote today. I think it was, if I go back, 75% went for the Hawks today. So well done to everyone in the chat again. You got the poll right again. I tell you what, I think the next poll is going to be a little bit tighter. The Q Clash, Brisbane Lions, Gold Coast Suns, that's going to be a ripper. All right, folks, until that game, I'll say ciao for now. We'll see you in about an hour's time for the next one.